this camera is like $3,000 plus the lens. So it's like $4,000. We got 3 of those, dude.
And it doesn't make me look any better. So, welcome back.
Yeah, dude.
Another episode.
C-Suite Unfiltered. We got our voice back mostly.
Yeah. Voices are mostly back. 2 back-to-back episodes. I was sick, and then you lost your voice at conference. So sorry for everyone listening. I know it's rough. Dude, congrats. I just realized something today. I was editing last week's. It'll go up tonight at time of recording. Episode 10.
Oh, yeah.
This is number 10. So been doing this for almost 3 months now.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah. So
getting so old.
What are your thoughts? 10 episodes in.
I have 1,500 episodes or videos on my channel, so we have a ways to go.
Got a ways to catch up. Yeah.
You have more subscribers than I did probably when I had 300 videos.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm using your name. Yeah. 71 subscribers. We'll have to do something for 100. I was thinking we could do a giveaway, but I don't know what. How do you even do giveaways on YouTube? How do you even see subscribers on YouTube? This is how horrible I am.
How do you see subscribers?
Yeah, can you see who individually subscribes, or is that?
Oh yeah, I can show you.
Oh, I have no idea, dude. I'm not a media guy. All right, I can see the number, but I don't know who.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Speaking of media, we are hiring probably 2 more people tomorrow.
Yeah. Nice.
We were going to go for 1, and then we got some really good applications, and we'll see what happens.
So expanding the media team for My Candies. So you had a meeting today with Steven and Zach. And what do you guys, how many people are you trying to hire? 1 or 2?
1 or 2. So 1 at least. But then there were some really good applications that came in. We're going to interview them tomorrow. And we kind of were I kind of was like, hey, guys, it's just do it. Let's just go for it. So it's expensive because a media person gets expensive, especially after they've worked for about 6 to 12 months, because we do ramp up their pay. Starting out, if they're newbies, it's just regular $18-20 an hour. Yeah. But if they're crushing it, it gets expensive. And so you need to produce 5-6 times their revenue just to cover their expenses, just their wages. So, but I feel pretty confident. This year we'll break 7 figures for the media team.
Nice.
But there's a lot of costs like servers and SEO stuff and web design and there's a lot of costs. Yeah. So last year we had a net profit margin of 0.25%.
Let's go.
I think we made $1,200. I think it was either $1,700 or $1,200 for the year net profit. Yeah. On $750K.
Nice.
So this year we'll break the $1 million marker. I think we could double in revenue. Knock on wood, maybe. Yeah. So if we did that, we could afford 2 more people. So that's what we're shooting for. We got the massive conference that we gotta cover that cost too. The cost of conference will be over $200,000, and so we got to pick up our game a bit.
That's honestly low. When I was thinking about how much it was going to cost, I thought at least $250,000.
Oh yeah, it'll be at least that. Okay, yeah, I'm being very conservative. When I say 200,000, that's if we do not show up, I am on the hook for 180K. Yeah, that's if we can't. If we cancel from here on out, anything happens, if we do not, I will pay 180,000 before we show up. That means before food and all the rest of it. For rooms, we got to house the whole team. Yeah. So it'll be easily over $250,000.
Dude, nice. Let's go.
It's also buy mycandies.com/summit.
Yeah, come to Summit.
I'm gonna shill this thing to the day I die. We can't lose $1 gazillion on that.
It'll be good. It'll be great.
I'm excited. Break even.
Yeah. So give me a little bit of a breakdown. I mean, if you don't want to share the exact numbers, that's fine. But give me a little bit of a breakdown. You said $715,000.
750.
50. Okay.
750 or 760.
Okay. So give me a rough breakdown. What's coming from YouTube? What's coming from?
YouTube I don't monetize now, right? So that's gonna go bye bye.
At the beginning of the year, it was monetized.
It was 50K that we got from YouTube, ads.
Yeah.
And I already had been suppressing them a bunch. I only allowed pre-roll one and skippable. So that cut my revenue in half. Yeah. And then I just eliminated it completely this year. Just we're demonetizing. Yeah, dude. So, but see, 40,000 in the grand scheme of things is low compared to our whole total revenue. Yeah. So I'm not concerned about that.
I thought YouTube would be a bigger portion. I think people don't realize how little you make on YouTube unless you're a YouTube star.
Yeah. Yeah, we could easily make, I would say, $5,000 to $6,000 a month in YouTube ads if we allowed more ad rolls, right? And then if we allowed display ads and things. I'd taken all that off already because it's just annoying. So I think based upon what I had a conversation with people from YouTube, I think that they're going to allow us to restrict advertisers, and so if that happens, I would be able to ban. The financial sector or making money kind of sector and business related stuff. And then that way people can, I don't care if Apple throws an ad before my thing, like, great, but I just don't want people, shilling garbage courses or fulfillment by Amazon, make money fast, have Lamborghinis, cash, all that garbage. So yeah, like that's going bye-bye. In terms of revenue breakdown, I don't have it in front of me based on my memory.
Real quick, hold on. Let me just, if anybody would like to advertise
yes,
on this podcast.
This is open. We are willing to sell everything. We'll have stickers here.
100%.
We'll wear merch.
Totally. I'll wear whatever merch. My friend gave me a free shirt for the company he works for, and I'm wearing it. So,
A breakdown. I would say a good chunk of it, almost half of it is lawn care web design and home service web design.
Okay.
And then everything else is like lawn care media, home service CPA, all those sort of things, all the ancillary services. But web design is a big chunk for us. Mm-hmm. And what's great about that too is we just, in my opinion, dominate in terms of other web design companies. Yeah. And there's other companies that do SEO and they'll charge $1,500 a month and we still can kill them. Like we can absolutely. So like I'm so confident in selling it. I could literally, I'm happy to put us up against any other design company. And so really, really happy about that. It's busy time now. And that's partly why I'm thinking about hiring 2 people. Like it's really doing well right now. Like we're getting a lot of people subscribing. No one leaves that service. So I feel confident we can cover the cost of 2 more people. But like just the laptops that we buy them are $3,000.
Yeah, totally.
Then you have like the desks, the chairs, office space. You're looking at like, it's expensive, dude.
Well, and then the gear and everything else they need.
Like this camera is like $3,000 plus the lens. So it's like $4,000. We got 3 of those, dude.
And it doesn't make me look any better. One day.
It costs more than $3,000 to do that. So.
Apparently. Set myself up there. That's crazy. And lawn care web design is really cool. Like you just posted something earlier today. You said, let's break down the math. Yeah. And it wasn't even like a sales pitch post. You were just like, seriously, break down the math. It's $3.99 a month. Right. And if they get a certain amount of leads from the website, you were like, it's like $8 a lead. And it wasn't an exorbitant amount of leads that you were telling them to get. It was like, what, 45 or something?
Yeah. The vast majority of our, within 90 days, are above that.
Yeah. So that's ridiculous. The value there. I was talking to a franchisee, and I won't disclose who it is, but he shared his P&L with me. New franchisee, joined the franchise, and he was like, hey, Lee, I want to go over some past P&Ls with you and just kind of get your thoughts and, set up a plan for the future. And I was like, great. And I was like, what's this line item that's $19,000? He was like, oh, that was my previous web designer.
Oh, mercy.
And I was like, you're getting $5,000 less a year for your Augusta franchise fees, and you're getting like 30x the support and a website.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I didn't realize how much they were charging me. That's like ridiculous, man. It's crazy.
Well, they say, hey, we'll build the site, be $5,000, then ongoing, we $200 to do changes. Yeah. Then we're gonna do an SEO package, and they try to sell you like an advertising thing when it's just search engine optimization. And they'll say you $500-$600 a month for that. So yeah, it's just a slimy world. And unfortunately, we're almost like, it's so funny. You talk to some people, they think we're so expensive. You talk to other people who are like, how in the world could you be $400 when my SEO guys charge me $2,000 a month? Yeah. So like, there's this weird, like there's pricing is all over the place in this industry. I try to be really transparent, be like, hey, we're making around $150. Let's give it more like 120 now per month in profit. And that's what goes towards, hiring more people. So I need about 50 to 60 people to sign up per one of our guys. Yeah. Right. And so if I can get 50, 60, I know those are coming in. That'll usually cover the cost of like one of the entry level dudes on the media team. And hopefully then we can scale up with them.
Dude, yeah, that's really cool. I have a buddy that he has his own small business owner. He owns his own marketing company, and he tries to be like educational with his clients because he wants to teach them, like, no, if you have a small business, like marketing is pretty easy. He's like, I'll happily, take the money to do your marketing for you. But he tries to be educational about it, and I respect that.
Yeah, it was like Kyle on the franchise Facebook group today said he was paying $2,000 a month before for the guy to run his Google ads and his Facebook ads. And then like just the tutorials in the academy, it's like, just follow these steps. Here's exactly how to do it. Here's the creative. Here's the text, blah, blah, blah. And like, I guarantee you the ads that guy did will not beat our ads by no more than 10 to 15%. Yeah. So like, unless you're spending $50,000 a month, it's not worth doing that. So, and the reason I can say this is because we've tried multiple agencies, and I always are trying to beta test against our ads and seeing like how much are we losing out by not having like every little thing optimized and just being more generalized? It's like 10-15% maximum that they can beat us out on, and it's not worth a 50% retainer. So you're paying twice as much for having the agency compared to just running the ads yourself.
That same buddy that I mentioned that runs a marketing company, he was telling me about a new thing that big marketing firms are trying to push to larger companies, but he said it's starting to become more accessible for small businesses and localized, is streaming ads. So have you thought about making any streaming ads for like Augusta or any of your businesses, where basically it uses, you know, an algorithm, right, for cop out for however they figure it out, that uses an algorithm to place ads on streaming devices locally if you're a small business? Have you thought about doing those?
I mean, for like TV?
Yeah, so kind of like YouTube ads, right? Because you can localize YouTube ads. Same thing, but it's going to be on streaming devices. So smart TVs, you know, Google Chrome, the sticks, Fire Sticks, those things.
Yeah, that'll be harder for small businesses because it's not an easy platform to create the ad. So you can do that on YouTube TV already. You can do it on streaming devices and do that already through Google Ads. However, like Roku, you have Trade Desk. These are platforms that basically take the ads, try to put them together, and then serve them out to. So it's definitely a market. The problem I see with putting it on a big screen or a TV is someone is not ready to take action. Whereas on a cell phone, there's a button like call now. All right. I do believe in the future there's going to be more of that integrated into TV, and that is like buttons, shareability, the ability to link to things, because it's going to become more and more integrated with the internet. But for now, most people passively watch large screens. They're not like ready to like take action, or they're not searching for things on their TV. So direct marketing is the bigger game for small businesses compared to branding for large businesses. So I think large business will take that over for a while before we put our foot into it.
Yeah, it's just interesting. He basically said to help small businesses, they kind of package it together, and then kind of what you were saying, then they distribute it to the streaming services based on who they're trying to target.
That's big thing that Trade Desk does. Yeah,
it's pretty cool. Like I see the advantage, but it's branding at the end of the day. Like you want intent-based marketing, a Google ad, a Facebook ad, right? Things of that nature. So, yeah, dude, lawn care web design.
Let's go.
If you don't have a website, lawn care web design. And
we're just going through one by one day, just being like, pitch this product. Let's go.
That's what we do. We're just here to sell all day, baby. So Command Center, switching gears, Command Center is moved into its new spot. How's that going? Couple days in. One bathroom. This morning it didn't go well. The toilet was backing up and stuff. Oh. I never actually figured out or know what happened with that. I know they had someone fixing it, but I don't know what happened. But yeah, Liz was like, we should get an outhouse and just put it out. So I'm like, I don't think anyone's going to use it. They're going to walk over and use the public one. So there's a nice public bathroom about 45-second walk away. But it's not ideal. It's not great. I don't like it. But the team voted on that one. It's obviously a lot cheaper for us. It's nice and amenities around us in terms of food. So it's working well. Lots of space. Yeah. Ton of space.
Right now. Yeah. Because I have this bad feeling we're going to fill it up fast. But it's good. We have it for 1 year. So we just need to get the spring rush. That's when we have a spike of team members. Yeah. But if we're hiring like more for the media team, and I know they have like 20 people starting here in the next couple of weeks at Command Center, it's not going to get tight, but it's right now it just feels so open, like so nice. But we'll fill it up.
I think it is a rite of passage if you want to work directly under you to have to use a porta-potty for 5 years.
Yeah, I agree. For 5 years.
That's listed 5 years, and I'm over 5 now.
5, let's go.
I don't think actually a lot of people probably know this is like we don't work together in the same building.
Right.
Like this is when we see each other pretty much, and then maybe once a week outside of this.
And we do it on purpose. We want the franchise coaches to stay integrated with daily ops.
Yeah.
So that way they're more connected. And so we made that decision. Although it'd be nice to have you at Command, but I think it's really important that the franchisees know that our coaches are still in daily ops. That's why Chuck is still running locations every day. Today he bought a whole bunch of trucks and is hiring. It just keeps you in the mud, in the weeds, so that you can help the franchisees the most.
Yeah, definitely not a complaint. Not a complaint whatsoever.
Besides the outhouse.
Yeah, no, I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. Like, doesn't need to get in biology.
Poor April went from Command Center to that.
Yeah, it's insane. But yeah, like we had a porta potty at the OG shop, and that was like that was it. And now Yeah. It's a rite of passage, I think. You got to get through it, especially when snow routes, dude. When I would be at the shop and it's like 2 feet of snow.
Oh, that was brutal. You couldn't even
like
the
walk
door.
out. Yeah,
and there's like the snow would pile up on the bottom of the porta potty.
Raise your hand if you've slept in the shop with a porta potty on snow route. Oh my gosh. Dude, so last time we got to talking about Copilot. We got talking about AI. I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about AI more openly. I think we kind of just dove into that conversation almost assuming that people kind of understand what AI is and they understand what Chat GPT is and DALL-E. So maybe a brief introduction. What is Chat GPT? What is DALL-E?
Yeah, the Chat GPT and these algorithms around AI are just entry level points of AI interfacing with using a text base. Spitting back text around artificial intelligence, scraping the internet and then giving answers instead of a search query. And it's really, really powerful. And I think the idea, I know you want to talk about like making money around this.
Yeah.
I think my philosophy on this, because everyone's like jumping on how they're going to make all this money, it will get democratized. It'll very, very quickly. Like if everyone can do it, that it will, like people are like, oh, like it's going to be able to, make this copy or like make a book or whatever. Like, great. That means everyone can do it. What people don't realize is the value of that service in terms of dollars will come down. Because if everyone can do it and everyone has an internet connection and people in India can do this, they're going to figure this out. And so all these like, how to make money on Chat GPT, I guarantee you in 6 to 12 months, all of those are going to get wiped out. At least the ones that are entry level. The ones that go the step above and start using it in different ways, they'll make money or build on top of the platform and niche it down. And make like different products using it as a back end. However, it's like saying, even if you go back 40 years ago, for example, 50 years ago, you could potentially say that there was a position or you could pay for email. Well, now email is like, you expect it to be free. You can get many, many multiple accounts. It's completely free because everyone offers it. And so, whereas back in the day, they need like servers and like the whole 9 yards and it would be expensive. So in my opinion, Chat GPT is just the beginning of AI. AI, though, at what it's currently doing, is going to become completely democratized and extremely cheap. And so it's going to be who like stays ahead of that curve. They'll make money on it. It's obviously going to change tech. It's going to wipe out some jobs. But yeah, the money-making activities on Chat, like, it's just a clickbait thing. Everyone's like, I can make free money. It's so easy. I can do all these things. It's like, if you can do it, and everyone else has the same tools as you, it means you have no unique advantage. You have no unique selling proposition. Anyone can do it. And other people are just as smart as you, and they'll figure it out. So I personally feel like all these like make money on Chat GPT is going to go away. Yeah.
I think it's a cool like sounding board for the human to interact with the AI. And instead of having someone like, hey, critique my sales script. Hey, critique this marketing campaign. You can like ask it to make you marketing campaigns. Like, so a video that Alex Hormozy put out, he said, hey, make me a sales script for a plumbing company. And they wrote a whole script and he was like, make it shorter, make it a text message, and it like condensed. And if you go and mess around with it, and I messed around with it a little bit myself, it's wild because I'm like, man, these are certain things I say on like sales calls, or these are certain things that I've said in conversation or in passing. And I think it makes it a cool sounding board. So I think I disagree with you in the sense that it will give people an advantage and then they can position themselves to make more money. And I think you'd agree with that. So I guess we're not really disagreeing. I'm just elaborating that if you use it correct, you can probably increase a little bit of your personal capacity to perform better at work, right?
Yeah, but if you ultimately look at what the algorithm is doing, it's taking all of this information and it's creating an average of all these answers and spitting that out based upon, synthesizing all of this data. So what you're getting is an average. And so in my opinion, to beat the average, you have to be better than the average. And so what I feel like we're doing with something like ChatGPT, which will get better, but currently as it stands, it has raised the threshold of what average is, because now the average person has a tool that increases their capacity to make that marketing script, et cetera. But there's still the person that will be so much better than the AI at that marketing script. And they will still do better than the average, which now has just been raised because of this new tool. Right? So who can take what ChatGPT gives it and then, okay, how do I link that up with 4 other campaigns and then optimize my budget and then have like multiple scripts and like all of that? Like that's where the creativity part is still valuable. It's still the person that's going to get above the average because the average has just been raised because everyone got the same tool. Like there's nothing different about you having ChatGPT versus everyone else in the world. So
right.
The whole average will go up, but still the person that is incredible, like off the charts, they're still going to do great.
I guess the analogy then would be like internet access. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that in the sense that we all had access to the internet, when it came out, if you could use a computer, right? And the person who had amazing sales skills just learned more and was better than the other person, and the other person is just at the average level because, well, they have access, but it doesn't mean that their skills are now better.
Well, yeah, it's like the, phone calls from India and phone support, right? Like everyone's crying like we're losing phone jobs and all the rest of it. It's like, well, no, they got internet access. They can basically do that too. And they're willing to do it cheaper. So guess what? That's where supply is going to, if supply is cheaper, demand's going to move that direction. And so, yeah.
So if you were like a mid-level employee, entry-level employee, like what would you be doing?
Focus on becoming above average.
Yeah.
Right? Focus on taking these inputs. Like that's all it can give you is inputs. And how do I take that and make something that AI can never replicate? And so in my opinion, this is, again, just moving up the average. The people that are above average do not need to worry. They're going to take this tool that used to take them an hour to do. Now it can take it in 10 seconds. Great. Now it's going to be an hour to now focus on creative strategy that AI bot cannot do. And so anyone that's job is in jeopardy is basically been flirting with the average, the mean of their industry, their technical abilities, and you've got to differentiate yourself by just becoming really, really good at something. And AI, we're decades away from it being able to do some of the things that a human brain can do, and you just get really, really good at it.
Yeah, I saw this article, and I think I was actually talking to my wife about it, Sarah, because she's studying to be a teacher, and there's lots of different schools of thought around like Common Core math now. Yeah. And it's like, well, why even teach certain aspects of Common Core math when everyone is going to have these in their hand forever?
Yeah.
And it's like a big debate because people are like, well, it's a building
dude.
blocks of like society. And it's understanding.
I'm in the camp of scrap it, dude. Once you know algebra, after that, that's it. Like there's no reason to know calculus. Like there's just absolutely no reason.
Dude, I did AP Calc. Did you?
Do you remember what an integer, like all that stuff?
Oh, no, dude, not a chance.
You never used it in your entire life. After algebra, the game of math dies. Yeah, dude. Like even for coding and what we're working with AI, I just need to know algebra. If I that's all I need, because the computer's running everything else. Yeah, I just need to know how to speak a language to it, and it does the rest for me. So it goes back though to, this is what's crazy. Why have history if I just can pull up my phone and say to ChatGPT, like, hey, explain, the American Revolution to me. Yeah. And like, bam, there it is. Here's the dates. Here's what happened. Well, why would I need to go learn that? Yeah. So that's a bigger debate, because it's not just going to be math anymore with computational power. And now when you bring it out of a calculator and it's basically all information is at your fingertips, why would I go to school and learn this stuff and memorize it? Right? Like, why would a doctor go and learn this stuff if I can type it in and immediately it's telling me like exactly what to do? And exactly based upon these things, and I can scan the person's face, take the temperature, input data, like their vitals. I guarantee you, there's gonna be better synopsises and better diagnoses based upon that objective data than a doctor who's like in a rush that day and like just prescribes a medicine that's wrong. So,
yeah, I think. That's an interesting thought. It's like, but I think that
there's
also
value, obviously. The nostalgia on like learning history and knowing it in your head permanently versus having access to it. But like, I don't know, man. We just become romanticized about like what knowledge is, and the storage of information has become romanticized. Like, oh, you need to learn this. Well, why? Like, why would I need to store that in my brain if I can get it in seconds now here? Well, when it becomes like now it's in a lens and I can access it 100%. Why would I want to take my time and learn that? Yeah. It's always there. I just have to ask for it or think about it. Yeah. Or blink.
But instinct, though, I think, to use an extreme example, like a doctor in the middle of surgery, yes, in 3 to 5 seconds, he'll get an answer.
Instinct has a lower probability of being correct than an algorithm.
It's fair, but what if split-second decisions?
Like a machine can operate much faster than a human.
I don't know. My dad was in the Navy, and he was an air crewman in the Navy, and he said, like, he's had lots of talks with different guys that still fly and they're still in the military and all that, and him and his buddies always saying, shout out Top Gun, Tom Cruise, like you need the human element in the cockpit to like win a dogfight.
Right.
And so that's where like, I know it's an extreme example because that's like 0.0000 something percent of the population are fighter pilots. But I think it's maybe a control element. Like as humans, we want a human in there. Like we want a human operating on us with the support of a machine. We want a human pilot with the support of a machine. So,
but that's what I actually see being that's why drones, like you look at Ukraine, what's happening. Drones are massive over there.
Oh yeah.
If you look at, like, in my opinion, it's not going to be a machine operating you. That we're like at least 100 years away from that.
Yeah.
Well, like especially like a specialized surgery. What I do see happening, though, is a less experienced doctor being able to perform surgeries that otherwise people would have been waiting on for a year. But because now he is interfacing with a machine, and the machine is literally has a camera telling him exactly what to do, then that seems like that makes a lot of sense to me, right? And then that algorithm is built by the best of the best of the best. It's not built by someone who just did 3 surgeries and is like giving it a shot, right? So you can take the best brains and then just multiply them, right? And that's what we're trying to with Copilot is like, I'm going to try to take what I have in my head and be like, okay, this is what you should do based on this attrition rate. This is what you should do based on this close ratio. This is what, like, why do I need to make all this content and videos and all this garbage for people to learn it when I can literally put in an algorithm and based upon those numbers and those key KPIs, I can tell them exactly what to do in their business, right? So I believe, to your point, interfacing machines with the humans is the first step prior to machines actually doing it. I think we're like ages away from that.
Yeah. But you still need the best of the best, as you said. So like, why can't you, with Copilot, and you did this, it's like you're taking all your experience, all your knowledge, and then dumping it into a machine.
Say it again, sorry?
Well, you said that you still have to have like the best of the best.
Right. But the best got there because they did it 1,000 times.
Right.
So the person that...
So someone will still always have to do it 1,000 times.
Yeah, but it'd be so much better if I was able to get started on my 1,000 after 4 years of education instead of 15.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because now I have something to follow and I'm following the best of the best. And now I've done it 1,000 times by the time I would have otherwise just been getting out of school. I just saved 1,000 lives and they were all done perfectly because it was literally being guided to me by the best of the best.
Yeah.
And so I become the best of the best faster, right? So
I don't know.
I am against memorization and learning in general because of what I went through. I know I skew that way. I just look at how much I poured in of my life and my time and my energy into something that I don't ever use. And I think that there's so much in life that we just waste time on. And that's why I'm really happy and optimistic about AI, because if it can take that stuff off our plate, it's like, oh, now you don't need to go to school for 12 years before going to college. You can go to four or 5 years. And by the time you're 9 or 10, we're going to everything that you need to know, quote unquote, whatever that is. And everything else, we're just going to show you how to interface with technology to be able to get that information right away. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
so someone comes out with otherwise a high school diploma means absolutely nothing. Instead of now they come out 18 and they know how to do a surgery. They know how to do taxes. They know how to do all of these things. And they just need to have the tools to interface with the system that tells them what to do.
So it's an interesting point. Like, I guess, standardized learning, standardized testing, memorization, Common Core. Yeah, useless in the My Candies camp. Whatever. I don't know. I have no rebuttal for that. But I think if you look at what intrigues people nowadays, it's topics and discourse. Think about whatever you think about him. I'm not talking about him politically, but I think Joe Rogan, extremely educational, right? And he also probably doesn't realize his impact on, 20-year-old males without strong figures in their life. But it's extremely educational. Why are people drawn to that? Because he talks about interesting topics and there's discourse and people can learn from that. I think it's very interesting that has such a draw.
Poor Jamie won't have a job with AI.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
But think about how much more powerful the discourse can be when immediately there's fact checking. Immediately there's dates. Immediately the information is 100% accurate because it's being tested and it's being ran through an algorithm. And if we need to know the date for this or what's the name of this person, is immediately there.
Yeah. But then wouldn't it make it kind of boring?
I know it's
I almost want to go the opposite now. Because think about it. If we were here, we're openly debating AI and its benefits. Well, it would have been spitting out percentages and saying, well, actually, statistically, Joe Rogan didn't say that. And it just get kind of boring, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the same way to say that, 100 years ago they would have said it'd be boring if when we want to determine where we're going to go out to dinner for the night, you like looked it up what the best restaurants were in the city. That'd be boring. Like you immediately know like what their menu is. You immediately can contact them and book a table. You can immediately know the ratings and reviews and determine the best one right away. Like the whole joy is like looking and finding new and not looking online. Well, now all of us do it. You go to a new city, the first thing you're doing is like best restaurants near me. Like that's what we're all doing. And so I think it's just interfacing with it correctly. And then there's other times to the person that's more romantic or wants to like disconnect. You do just walk into a random restaurant. Like, and I know you'd probably.
Oh yeah. 100%. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Never. 100%.
So like, I think there's definitely a place for it.
Yeah.
And I think that if we have that approach, AI will actually be adopted faster versus like, you must interface with this. This is how it must be done. If it's just like, hey, there's an optional thing. It's going to enhance your life. If you like it, you can use it. And if not, I think that's the way all technology gets adopted the best. That's why like the internet did well. That's why Google search did well. And that's why ChatGPT has had multiple people in the past try to do what they're doing and fail because it's not giving the ability for the human to still make a decision. It's telling them something. And it's already running these problems. It'll get into a certain debate politically or socially in these issues. And that's what will run into heat. And there's been multiple times Microsoft has tried this, and they ran into massive issues around like literally they shut it down in a few days because of like it started spitting out the wrong information. And so what that does is you now forced an opinion on someone versus with Google and like search, you have the ability as to take ownership of your decision to make the right decision on the restaurant. Whereas when you ask ChatGPT down the road or AI in the road, say, I want to go to the best restaurant in this city. Okay. Now you are telling it an opinion if you say this is the location you should go to. Because what happens if they get foodborne illness there? Who's responsible? Right? So you just push that information versus here's 10 of the best in the area, make a decision. So I think that the secondary gets adopted much sooner because we feel in control and we don't like losing that. But it'll be interesting to see if it can improve fast enough to give that element of we still feel in control of it.
Right, because this is going to sound really dumb, but you don't want humanity to become a novelty.
Right.
Like where we just like, and I think we'll always fight that, right? And I think that goes back to kind of my point from the last pod when I was talking about like creativity. And I feel like if we're all just doing data-driven decisions, right? And it's all an algorithm, right? Or it's all quantitative. There's an element where that's just boring. Like I would never do that. Like I'm the type of person, like I go to a new place. Well, actually, this is a perfect example. Yesterday I went down to Seattle. Marcus and I were hanging out and I was like, yeah, we'll meet at this restaurant. And okay, great. Oh, that restaurant doesn't open for an hour. Whoops. So it's like Google. This place looks interesting. This place looks interesting. Let's just pick one and figure it out versus like we want a restaurant like the one we were going to go to. What's the best? Pick it.
So think about it like this. Instead of thinking about that as a romantic thing that's like so humanity, whatever, think of it as like it's wasted fun. 30 minutes of the only thing that you have in life that is finite, which is time.
Yeah, but so basically my cookie cutter life is better than my life with some waste in it. If I was letting no,
if you're trying to reach full optimization.
Yeah, but like life should be enjoyed. Smell the flowers.
But see, you could have had 30 minutes to go smell the actual flowers because instead you're looking for the wrong restaurant and you're in the wrong place driving around a concrete jungle. Like it just depends on what you're trying to optimize for. If you're trying to optimize for humanity, then yes. If you're trying to optimize for the fact that you save 30 minutes and then you can spend that with people you love or being creative, that's a different subject.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I think I like the element of just advocate. Oh, I know. I love it. I think it just depends on who you are as a person. Yeah. Right. For me, it's I like the adventurous side of it. Like when outside of work, I'm very free form. Like, but at work, I'm like extremely deliberate. But outside of work, it's like, yeah, we'll meet at 7.
But think about it from this perspective, when a machine can take the things that are rigid for you and are computational and are repetitive, when it can take it off your plate, just think about how much time you have then to be creative, be an emotional human being, have humanity, because you're no longer wrapped up in copying and pasting things. You're no longer wrapped up in writing out an email. Like, there's no reason in the world for that to happen. So, I look at it very optimistically. It opens up things. And like the only thing that we currently have that is finite is time. I think the most valuable thing, and whether or not you're young or old, you probably put different weights and values on that, but it is the thing that we should protect the most. And so if we can take computational this happening and this happening away and make it more where that just happens immediately. That should give us more time to do the other stuff. Unfortunately, most of the time in humanity's history, we don't do very well at taking that time and allocating it towards other, like, more personal and humanity things. We don't do very well at that.
Yeah. We would just
do more of what?
We would find something else to fill that space.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I remember
we'd go look at more restaurants.
We'd go look at more restaurants. Dude, we found a great spot. It was awesome. It's fantastic. Anybody needs a recommendation, just let me know. But we had a conversation with the local shop team one morning, and you said, like, what do you value the most? And it was like time, money, health, education. Well, do you remember that? I don't know. It was an interesting discussion. And one of the things I said education. Like, I was kind of playing devil's advocate because everybody was kind of picking the same thing. And I was like, well, this is boring. Once again, see, AI, everyone just picks the same thing. AI, it's this one thing. And I was like, this is a boring meeting.
No, AI will know the pattern of your thoughts and it'll be able to spit out that random idea that you were thinking.
I don't know. I'm lawless. AI can't pin me down.
It's all graphical error.
It is. But I played devil's advocate, and I said the most important thing is education. And the reason I said it, I specifically remember saying this, and I was like, that sounded really dumb. But this is what I said. I said education is one of the few things you can do to speed up time. And I think that's kind of what you're saying with AI. No, it's not education, but it's access to information speeds up time. Like, that's basically what you've kind of been arguing.
Assuming, playing against the thing I've already just been saying, is that you want to speed up time. Right? Because for some people, they enjoy being in college, learning useless information that's, like, enjoyable to them. Sometimes optimizing for time is not what someone wants, right? So I think it's optimizing for, happiness or whatever it is. But yeah, education should speed up time, again, in theory, so you can go do things that you love and enjoy. Yeah. Right? But for some people, like, speeding up time is not really the best thing. So they're going to push against AI until they're blue in the face.
I'm not saying I'm going to push up against AI. I see a lot of the benefits. I think it's going to be awesome. Yeah. But I think it's not, I don't know. People will think they're more individual than they are. Like, I think maybe what I'm showing is that I would push back on AI because I'm like, well, what if I don't want the result it gives me? Like a restaurant recommendation.
That is what it'll hit up against. I feel like that's going to be its hurdle. Because we as humans want control, and we don't want to be told what to do, and we want to interface with technology. We don't want technology to tell us what to do. So that's where I feel there's gonna be a lot of resistance, and that's why I'm not sold on everyone like ChatGPT stuff at the beginning of an era. I still see a lot of flaws with it. Yeah. I think it could still go the way of the dodo bird. I think it is 3 days away at any point in time from completely going under. It just takes one wrong thing. Someone puts that on Twitter, and now everyone's searching that one thing, and then immediately it's putting out false information. How that gets in there, who put the bug in there, can that be politically jiggered? Like, there's a lot of issues with it. There's been other similar products that have failed very quickly because of things like that. So I'm not sold on it. I know the power of the tech, but I'm not sold that this is going to be like the thing. I think it's still, everyone's like, oh, ChatGPT, what did he say? Like, number 5,000 or version 5,000, 500 is what he's worried about. I'm like, look, based upon its historical like trend, I don't know if it's going to get to that. It might get a few versions in and be bought out. It might have a really big problem. Like, you go to the elections, like, who is telling that information? No, when does it switch from who is actually the president? Is there, like, what's that look like? So there's just a bunch of stuff like that I feel like could potentially sink it.
Yeah, restaurants aside, it's who is providing the inputs for the AI. I think that's a big concern for a lot of people because a presidential switch, right? Well, what about this situation versus that's a perfect example is the documents that were found at Biden's Delaware home recently. And this is not necessarily to talk politics. I think it's a perfect example. Put your political biases aside. Is Trump was accused of taking secured documents, classified documents from the White House to private property. Biden just got caught doing the same thing. Whether it's a plant, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could get disproved next week. I don't care. But from an example standpoint, well, now what if, the president, the cabinet has control of the American AI or whatever, and, Trump didn't pass that over to Biden? Is the AI going to say they're the same situation, or is it going to say Trump's was A and Biden's was B?
Right.
That's where it gets scary.
And there's just going to be tons of people trying to stump it. And so it's going to play it has to become political at some point.
Yeah.
In terms of like walking a divide of every social issue, every sort of issue. Like it has to be the middle, right? It's very hard to be in the middle. And furthermore, people don't like the middle. They want you to choose sides. That's why we have left and right. That's why I have Democrat and Republican. That's why. So like, it's just going to cause a lot of issues because it's not giving the human the ability to make the decision. It's trying to by saying, hey, like here's what we think, but it could be this. Like it's trying to kind of like, play the middle game because it's ultimately the human still wants the ability to make a decision. And as soon as it starts making calls on things, it actually becomes a useful tool in a lot of cases. But when it starts making calls on subjective things, that's when I feel like it could hit some real resistance.
Well, I think what it's going to do is that I think people believe AI is going to take the objective or take the subjective and make it objective.
Well, think about how fast people get canceled, right? Over things they said or did. Just think like what happens when Chat GPT has an opinion that is against someone's political views or social views, and it says that when someone is a certain amount of weeks in the field that is not a human being or whatever it is, that could immediately turn off half the audience. So like, it's very fragile. I don't embrace technology when it's coming out this early. I just know the power of the technology, right? That's what we're building Copilot on, right? So like I'm a full believer in the technology, whether or not Chat GPT and that interface is going to be something that we actually want to do as humans. I'm not sold on yet. I think everyone's bought this hook, line, and sinker, and I'm still not sold on it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't used it. Like I do not prefer it right now.
Yeah.
It takes too long for the text to show up.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me information that I'm actively looking for every day, and I don't feel like I get enough options. I want to know the left and I want to know the right, so I can come up with a calculated decision. I don't want the decision made. I just want the opinions, and I'll make the decision. As soon as you take that away from a human, I feel like they're going to feel out of control. Like, I don't want that.
I feel like you talked yourself into my side of the argument.
I'm trying to play devil's advocate, both sides.
No, I like that. I think that's exactly where I kind of sit. Like I don't use it in a practical sense. Messed around with it, wanted to see what it was, see how cool it is. But it's just interesting that it can, replace that. I guess to kind of wrap all this together, replace, basic learning skills that we had, and it's all that information is accessible, Common Core math, history, all that stuff. But the big picture is, who's controlling the inputs, and what do we do when it gets a political or a subjective? Does it make a subjective objective? Because even COVID, you have doctors that are massively this side, massively that side. Well, what tests are they putting into the AI to make the decision?
What happens when it says the wrong information and someone dies because of it?
Yeah.
Right?
Oof.
Because now with Google, it's like, hey, well, you looked it up and there was 5 different opinions, but they're all different. You chose the wrong one, your fault. So like there's going to be massive lawsuits, in my opinion, down the road, all sorts of things like this. But if AI was here, it'd probably be saying our retention graph is dropping fast. So we've talked a lot about AI.
Yeah, talked about it. I agree. All right, I want to try one last thing.
Oh, okay.
This is a thought I had.
Okay.
2 podcasts ago.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
That was before conference.
Your livestock picks. When you bought Tesla.
Yeah,
you bought Tesla
I told
live.
you it was still going to keep going down, dude.
Yeah, you bought Tesla live on the pod.
7% up today.
Not bad. Are you still holding?
Oh, yeah.
Not financial advice.
Oh, no, it's going to still go down. It's going to go down over the next year or two. Yeah. Very fully aware of that. Yeah. I think it could potentially, if we continue, the recession goes as deep as I think it will, it'll half still. It'll still half.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do is let's try a new bit. I didn't prep you for this, but I'd like to maybe try a thing on the pod where we just call it not financial advice.
That's cool.
And it can be anything, just some advice. From
my
you,
advice
so
right now:
you can have
do not buy a house for the next 6 months.
Okay,
it's a horrible decision. Interest rates are still higher than like house prices still have to catch up with how fast interest rates jumped. So do not buy a house.
What about cars? If you need to.
Like the value of cars are going down. The values of cars are going down. I would be saying, on a loan?
Yeah, like if you need to get a loan on a car. Let's say you want to buy a $20,000, $30,000.
It's going down in value. It's going to go down another 10 to 15% over the next year. Okay. So just be ready for that, right? Everyone just got freaking out because Tesla cut prices by $20,000, like literally 15 to 20% off like that. Yeah. If you bought a car 2 months ago, it's now literally like 25, 30% less. Like that's going to keep happening over and over and over because now the supply chain is caught up, demand has come down, and now inventory is going up. Guess what everyone's going to do? They're going to cut prices. Yeah. And we literally went up like 40, 50% over the past couple of years. It's going to come way down. So the same thing's happening with housing. So I would not buy a house. And in terms of a car, if it didn't make me money, I'd be skimping by as much as possible. Like personal vehicles, I'd just try to go as small as possible and wait 6 to 12 months. If I was making money on it, I would get what's right for the business.
Good. I like that. That's great. That's great. Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. Do not buy a house in the next 6 months.
Here's my non-financial advice.
Oh, you got something?
Yeah, we each get one.
Let's do it.
We each get one.
Sweet.
Here's my non-financial advice.
You're not gonna push back on my advice?
No, I think it's good. I don't know.
Fine.
Yeah, you're a realtor.
Oh yeah,
I'm just a lowly homeowner. I'm just a pawn in your scheme. That's all I am.
Well, I sold half of mine in middle of 2022 because I actually believe it's not a good time to buy real estate.
Yeah, I mean that's no. So I agree with that. I think that's great.
Plus,
I have one home. I don't need another.
There's some stat about how many realtors have dropped out in the past 6 months. It's incredible.
Yeah,
because there's nothing selling. Mm-hmm. So it was incredible. Just I don't want to say a stat. I want to say it's somewhere in the 20s a percentage of realtors that have stopped in the past 6 months. Mm-hmm. Stopped being a realtor because there's nothing there. So I think I lucked out with the skin of my teeth, dude, selling those 10 units. Yeah. And I would have liked to sell this one, the 10 unit right now. But I have such good debt on it. Yeah. I'm not going to go down in price at all. So I'm like, I'll just leave it up for sale at a very high top dollar, and if people want it, they can get it.
If any realtors are looking for a job, Mike is hiring a new media person. So if you have some media skills, just go
by
ahead
the time
and apply.
this launches, hopefully those spots are filled. Sorry,
true.
Go ahead.
All right.
Not financial.
Here's my not financial advice.
Okay.
Since this is a new bit and we just came up with it, but I thought it'd be funny. My not financial advice is try a new restaurant. How's that sound? But don't look it up.
You don't. You actually want not financial advice.
No, but it could be financial advice. It's a bit within a bit.
Okay, see, I thought you wanted me to give financial advice, but have it under not financial advice.
No, most of yours probably will be financial advice.
Okay, yours
and I'll be the yin to your yang.
Okay, well, let me give one that's not financial.
We're gonna do it every week. He's too excited. He's too excited.
My non-financial advice is find someone that you can take a picture of everything you put in your mouth, and make a group chat and just send a picture of everything you eat. It's the best form of accountability ever. It takes way faster than trying to go to a calorie counter app or any of those things. Just take a picture of everything you eat and send it on the chat.
Who'd you send that to?
I have a coach that does it.
You have a coach?
Yeah, I just started.
Like a life coach?
No, my gym coach, Christian, at the gym. He's a trainer at Anytime Fitness. And so I send him pictures of everything I eat.
That's cool.
All day long.
Yeah, because I heard you right before we started recording. You said, I got to take a picture of this. And you were standing over your hummus. And I was like,
it's so good, dude. It's so good for your brain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I agree with that. One of our franchisees wants to do 75 hard.
That's where that came from as a mastermind this morning.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, that's what he said. He was saying that.
Yeah. I don't want to die, but I think I want to try it.
Dude, if you did that, you would lose so much weight.
Yeah,
dude.
I know. I need to. I really need to.
You'd probably lose 20 or 30 pounds.
Probably.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
I need to. So
dude, let's go.
Office job killed me.
I know.
But my not financial advice, because Mike got too excited, is try a new restaurant that you didn't look up. There's your advice. Because I tried one. I mean, I found it on Google, but I didn't look at reviews. I didn't super look at the menu. Yeah, but I said, this looks great. Let's try it.
If you have certain food preferences or food restrictions, you can't just walk into any restaurant because you're just going to be disappointed. I can't go into some restaurants because they don't have good food. They have junk, fried everything. I don't want. Oh man.
All right.
Is that it?
That's it.
That's it for the pod.
Thanks everybody. Like and subscribe.